Grok 4.5 is available in GitHub Copilot, so I wanted to try it out. I played around with it a little bit in Grok Build because I like to experiment, and it was super fast. So what I'm going to do is try to take a weather view app that I experiment with as new models come out and see how it matches up. So what I like to build is a pretty straightforward web app, but it's a good way to see how does it do design, can it make the API calls properly, does it follow directions, those types of things across models. Here's an example of one run I did a while back with a model. I think this is one of the older Opus models as an example. But I have kind of two ways we could do this. One is I could take a plan I have, which is in this .plans, and it's a pretty detailed one, but I actually want to see how it does planning as well. So what we're going to do instead is I have this prompts.markdown, and I'm going to grab this guy right here. So I'd like to create a website called WeatherView, super professional. It would pull weather from OpenMedia API, render basically a 5-day forecast, create a plan to make this website a reality, and it gives a few things. Now I'm going to enhance it a little bit because there's some other stuff I'd like. For instance, the Celsius to Fahrenheit switcher, might want a dark light mode, things like that. So I'm going to come on over, and what I'm going to do to start is I have an empty folder, and I'm going to add that into the GitHub Copilot app. So let me do that here. And I'm just going to hit the little plus. We'll go to local folder, and it'll probably be on it. It is. Okay, and there's nothing in here, you'll see. Completely empty. So let me open that up. I'm on Cloud Opus 5, but let's go ahead and switch over to Grok. I'll leave it at medium, actually. I'm actually having really good success with models running at low or medium, some of these more frontier level models. So let me paste this in, but let's say add a Celsius to Fahrenheit, I think that is. Close enough, if that's not right. A switcher. Let's also add a light, dark mode switcher. Ensure we have a text box to enter a city. Let's say use geolocation to grab the user's location. That should be good enough. Now let's go ahead and we'll switch this to plan mode. Don't have to, of course. I could just run it right in interactive. A lot of times I will do that because I like to save the plan to a .plans, like you saw right back here, actually. And I like to store all my plans because I'll make multiple on real apps and features. And that way I can kind of see the history of them. But, totally optional. All right, so first off, good. What tech stack should I use? I'm just going to go with vanilla here. And then I'll speed the video up, but I'll kind of give you an indication of the time once we get through these questions here. Okay, this is actually really good so far. So clean, modern, glass morphism. All right, so it looks like it's right in the plan. Now, one thing you'll notice, it tried to do a bash call, and in plan mode, it's read only. So it's not going to modify things, but it should draft a plan, and then GitHub Copilot can store that. Now, when we're done, and once we go back to interactive, that's when I typically will say, okay, save the plan, once it's ready. Okay, so it looks like it's all done. We can actually view the plan right here and get some details. And so I can scroll through, and I'm just going to accept it. But you'll notice it broke it out pretty nice, it looks like. At least it has the main sections I'm looking for here. It also has the task that it's going to do. So that's also nice. Let's go ahead and shrink that back down. And now what I'm going to do is say, yeah, let's approve and implement with autopilot. Now, as I mentioned, I usually like to save the plan. And so I could just exit plan mode and then say, grab that plan and save it. But let's just go ahead and we'll go to number 1 here. So here we go. So it looks like the initial scaffolding's in place. Took about 235 around. So not bad at all. Pretty quick. We'll see, though, in total what it takes, but it looks like it's doing the design system and the JavaScript modules.
5 minutes later.
All right, so you can see all the files it's created. Looks like it's doing a smoke test right now. Kind of see where it's at, and we'll see if it needs any more polishing, as it says. All right, and there we go. And because I'm in GitHub Copilot app, I showed this in a previous video. Now, I'll probably have to open this up in a regular browser. A lot of times I found if you don't do that, the geolocation doesn't work right. You can see it wants me to retry. Yeah, so I'm not even getting a dialog. No big deal. Let me go ahead and grab 8765, it looks like. So let's pop open a browser here. And yeah, there we go. Now I get the know your location. So I'll say just this time. And I'm going to have to say, That's pretty nice, actually. This is one of the better ones I've seen. So far, I'm actually pretty impressed. I could see, nitpicking a little bit. This is kind of weak. This is a little off center. Should be down a little bit. That's easy to fix. Oh, no, actually, it was unable to detect location. So let's retry. Okay. I think that was, for some reason, it had 2 dialogues popped up. So let's see here. Let's go to Fahrenheit. It is summer here. And yeah, that's probably right for today. 45 degrees Celsius for those of you that do Celsius. It gets warm here. Let's try something like, I don't know. I've never tried international here. Let's try Rome. Okay, nice. It has a built-in little selector there. That works pretty well. Let's do New York. Now I do see, I don't know what this bar is. I don't know if that was the retry. So that's something we could fix, but it's not perfect. So we could go back and prompt that, but okay. Overall, I'm gonna have to say I'm pretty impressed. That's not bad at all. Now to run all this, it took about 8 minutes. It looks like it works, and I didn't try this, I realized. Okay. That looks pretty good too, actually. Not bad at all. There you go. That is Grok 4.5 on my little weather view app. And I'm actually pretty impressed. Now, normally I'd go and do a code review, so it's really hard to say, was the code great? Because I haven't looked at it yet. I'd say 99% of it is right. There's a few little tweaks I pointed out, but definitely wanted to check out because cost-wise, it's in a good cost range. So there you have it. There is Grok 4.5 taking it for a spin, and thanks for watching.